Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
So first,
absolutely,
and I was like,
let's dig it all up.
Oh no!
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast on in New York, a gloomy Friday early evening. It is early evening. Sometimes I dream about leaving work early to do this podcast, but not today because
allegedly leaving work early.
Everyone and their mother was like, "Hey, 5 o'clock Alicia's time. Let's ask questions."
Yeah, Alicia's not happy right now.
No, baby, no.
Let it out.
Not that.
Maybe this week instead of small celebrations, we can do small angers.
Mine goes with both. Are you excited?
Wait. Let's.
Before we get into it, we have a ton of stuff going on. We got an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, a Patreon. We don't want to work in corporate America, so go follow all these things.
Let us be funny on the internet. Because we're just funny to like 300 people.
We're meant to talk for a living. How do we do that?
Well, here's the real thing is we talk for not a living. So like, let me live off of my yapping. I'm already going to do it.
SOS. I'll talk about anything y'all want if this could be my job. What do you want me to talk about? I'll read up.
Oh my God.
I'll study. So all the links are in our description. Also, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. We do have a new review. I
really?
know. Now that we figured out how to find out. Yeah, we have a new. For those of you who don't listen to our Summer House episodes, but listen to our also episodes, we didn't think we were getting any reviews. We couldn't find them for the fucking life of us.
It actually made me sad because it was also like during winter and like there was no happiness and joy around.
No, never. But we found one. It is related to also opposed to Summer House, so that's why I saved it.
Okay, I love that.
It's 4 stars, and it's titled "Apologizing for Our Gender," so I'm assuming it's a man. I'm assuming, and it's from Big Blue 10989. Great, and Big Blue types. Love y'all and the diverse topics. But in your last episode, you said that you loved women's basketball, but if you watched one UConn game, you would know how to pronounce Paige Becker's name correctly. I'm sure I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Listen up, Big Blue. If you listen to a few of our episodes, you would know that I suck at pronouncing names.
Yes.
Even the famous ones.
It has nothing to do with love of the person.
It's white, blonde women. I can never get their names right.
That's so
even
true.
The famous ones.
Here's the thing.
I'm obsessed with Paige. Paige Buckets. Just go with it. It's Paige Buckets.
That's actually pretty funny. Sometimes when I know the incorrect pronunciation, your mind is like playing tricks on you and you're like, don't do it, don't say the wrong way. Like, I know it's not that, but then you start to question your own. I gaslight myself and I'm like, I'm going to do this all the time.
Yesterday, I knew the word lineage, and on our podcast, I was like, what is it? I got like nervous for a second.
That literally went into an edit because
but it happens all the time for me. Okay, I have watched multiple UConn games. Thank you,
and
so much,
especially Paige Becker's edits.
Paige Buckets,
Alicia
baby.
is all over it.
My TikTok is so deep on Paige edits. It's kind of weird because I'm 30. And she's
That's not weird.
23.
That's not weird.
Some people really edit her like thirst. I get her thirst trap. And I'm
weird.
like, oh, people are.
I was thinking these are just like the one shiny moment type, like incredible edits.
I love a basketball edit. And then I get one where she's like doing her Riz hands, where she's like, and then she's like blowing kisses. And I'm like, it feels weird. There's a moment where I'm like, not that, I won't like that edit. Keep the basketball ones coming. She does have Riz though, and she's totally. If y'all know, I have different types, and one of my types is like skinny, blonde, tall men. Think Michael Cera. I dated a guy in high school that looks just like.
I think you were going to use Michael Cera.
I love like a Michael Cera circa
oh my God.
super bad
Yes.
kind of moment. Like a skinny man I can just crush. Paige could crush me, but I like the tall, like skinny. And my friend saw a picture of Paige and she goes, "That's your type." And I was like, "Cut it out."
You're like,
kinda.
I knew, but I didn't say it out loud.
But now I know why her Riz hands, I go, "Oh, for a second, need a moment." And then I'm like, I can't like this. My TikTok's crazy right now. But you're right. I did probably mispronounce it.
And this might be the same person. And if not, either way, good. I appreciate when people do correct me because I do get so in my head about names that it is not our goal to mispronounce people's names. But it does happen often. We do have to apologize.
Sorry to Paige. However, don't tell me I don't spend my days watching UConn games. That's all I did, March Madness.
That's the thing, is the mispronouncing the name does not align with the amount of watching that is happening.
Don't come at me.
For sure.
Don't come at me. I watched her game twice in the championship because I had to watch the Diana Taurasi Sue Bird show. And I got both those names right, but I mixed them up because the show does Sue first. Doesn't matter.
No.
But thank you so much.
Thank you for the review, though.
Sorry you're a man. I would have taken the review better if you weren't a man. I get it. It's just anger. Anyway, let's do small celebrations, though.
How about you go first?
Oh my God, I would love to. I'm single-handedly dismantling the patriarchy within my friends. So I don't have time for my friends to even make one wrong comment about a woman at this point. Nothing. If you say anything against women culture, I will call your ass out. Don't be friends with me if you don't want that. But here's my story, and I'll tell you why it's a win, because I'm going to get heated.
I'm so excited.
For years, it's been 2 years since I read those ACOTAR books and fell into a fantasy hole. I have told people, read these books. Yeah. I backed off because I've read better books.
Yeah. But it's a good entry point for people if they're not readers. It's an entry point.
So I'm like, read these books. And one of my friends is like, I'm not going to read those books. And I was like, okay, then I will.
Guy or girl?
Girl. I was like, fine, don't read the books. You're lost, kind of thing. And so then recently she goes on a date with a guy. Mm-hmm. She really likes him. He's like, I've read these books and they're so good. And she's like, I think I'm going to read the books now. And I was like, first of all, to do it because a man told you angers me to no end.
Yeah.
But let's move on. I'm happy you're going to read the books. So she's reading the books. May I just say, this man is no longer in her life. So, like, questions. Anyway, she's reading the books and she's like, oh my God, I love these books. She's so obsessed.
You're and like, then
today she texts me. She's like, I'm so obsessed with these books. Let me even get the text message because we're not fucking around here. She said, I admitted to my coworker that I didn't want to read these books because everyone was reading them and I don't like doing what everyone else is doing, but I regret not reading them sooner. And I got heated because you know what I absolutely hate? I hate when people are like, I don't want to do that thing because it's popular and everyone else is doing it. Like,
I'm this way too, though. Like, sometimes it's off-putting when everyone is doing it. You're like, all right, this is a lot.
Why are you going to deny happiness? If I'm telling you it's good and you're like, everyone says it's good, I don't want to do that thing.
I don't think it's because everybody says it's good. Sometimes, like, I remember when, like, Twilight was huge and you're just inundated with it everywhere. It becomes like, okay, this is, like, very overwhelming. It is a lot. So, like, that fall that I read ACOTAR, it was everywhere. So I understand when people are like, whoa. But, like, at some point when the hype, like, comes down and it's not on every For You page and not everywhere that you're seeing it, that's when you enter.
Fall into the madness, you know? Who cares? But I hate when people are like, I'm not, like, strictly, if you just want to wait until the madness is over, fine. But if you're like, I'm never going to do that thing because everyone
that's
like,
crazy.
I'm never going to watch Harry Potter because, like, everyone does it. But here's the other thing I want to call out. This is the patriarchy because it is only done with things that women love. So let me give you an example.
I never thought about that.
Let me tell you about this. Let's just hypothetically in the world today.
Yeah.
Everyone and their mother listens to Taylor Swift, except the people who are like, I'll never listen to Taylor Swift. She's too poppy. He's too popular.
Yep.
She has enough fans. No one says that about Drake. No one says that about Kendrick Lamar. Everyone still listens to them, but God forbid a woman's out here having as many fans, more concerts, more songs.
Yeah.
And people are like, I can't listen to her out of principle because she already makes enough money. Fuck you. Then Drake already makes enough money too.
That's
also,
so true.
Here's my next example. Everyone watches football. That's really cool. That's so cool to watch football, but you're not going to watch reality TV because like, oh, it's for stupid people. What do you think football is? That's reality TV. You're watching reality fucking happen. Or like, we have to go see Oppenheimer because it's going to like help our brains, but you don't want to go see Barbie because it's too popular. Fuck you. And here's my last example. Everyone read and watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Everyone. God forbid the women have a female main character book called ACOTAR. Oh, we don't want to read that book. And we're not, because it's pretty and it's about women. It's literally
it's just
book.
Because of women's enjoyment. The content doesn't matter.
No, literally. This is when like people are like, I don't want to eat avocado toast because it's so popular. Eat an avocado toast, shut the fuck up, read your book, go listen to the Barbie soundtrack, and be happy. You don't have to just like be away because everyone else is being away and you want to be a pick me. You don't want to be that cool.
It's kind of picky energy because you're standing in the like, well, I don't do this. I'm different. I'm special.
Yeah, I'm different. I actually always watch sports and never watch girly shows. Well, fuck you then. Don't find happiness ever.
That's what it is like there is so much joy you're missing out on. Like I get overwhelmed by like really mainstream talked about things sometimes. And so I think it depends on like why you're denying things. Do you not like fantasy? That's okay if you don't want to read ACOTAR.
That's fine. But if you're like,
doing it
everyone's
solely
doing it.
out of everyone's doing it, I'm going to be different.
I don't want everyone to do it.
I never thought about that.
Whatever.
Like it always is about women's stuff.
It's always, because the women, fun fact, women control the economy. Whatever we buy, because we are doing a majority of spending in the economy, whether those be like housewives trying to maintain their houses, whether that be
even men's clothes.
I do retail therapy. Women are out here buying clothes for their husbands because their husbands don't know right from left. Like women are in charge of the economy. So then when we deem something as cool and fun, everyone has to be like, no, actually, it's not. Barbie is actually for dumb people. Well, fuck you then. You know what? You go watch your boring 8-hour movie about, I don't even know.
It was the atomic bomb.
A project? The atomic bomb? What's that? I'm watching a fun-filled, colorful afternoon with great songs.
Yep.
And we're dismantling the patriarchy. It's always that way. And then to my friend, I was like, this angers me to no end. Because here's my point. You are just falling into the patriarchy. You're not going to read a book because all the other girlies are reading a book.
But then to read it because a man recommended it is diabolical.
That too drove me nuts. When she called me and she's like, I'm reading it because he said, we're lucky I was outside already because I would have had to go for a walk to let out my anger. Like I was gobsmacked, to say the absolute least. You don't think I have good recs because
that's
I like
what it is,
cute little romance?
You don't then trust my recommendations? Why? Like, let's dig deeper on that. Why do you trust his recommendations but you don't trust mine, especially when we're recommending the same thing?
Why are we reading books to impress men and relate to them? They should be reading these. He read these books for fun. That's a good man. He's just for funsies. But why are you taking his rec? Some woman probably recommended it to him. Take the women's rec.
Head. I think because then like people, when they say like, oh my God, you just attack men, me. It's like, it's not that he recommended it and she wanted to read it. It's that you're denying a woman's recommendation and only taking the recommendation because a man gave it to you.
Waiting for that man's recommendation. Yeah, you want to impress this man. You're like, now I'll read these books. No, that's not. No, books are for girls. It's not real. Books are for girls.
But let's take that back. I do enjoy that. Just like skipping is for girls. Like boys can't skip.
That's not real. Men can read maybe too.
But we allow them to read.
The girls run book talk. The girls run bookstores. The girls are the ones out here keeping books alive.
I'm not asking a man what type of jeans are in style. I'm not asking a man what books are in style.
Yeah, and just because I read cute fantasy and like little romances that make me kick my feet. I also read self-help books. I read historical fiction.
Yeah.
I fucking read it all. But I'm like, hey, you're in a depression. Let me give you this cute little fantasy romance book. I'm not going to then recommend like Atomic Habits when you're depressed because like that's crazy.
That will spiral you even more.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give you a sad book where
That's
everyone
so true.
dies
You
at the
have
end.
such a diverse reading like
Literally.
bookshelf. I would take your I do take your recommendations. I say them every time you give them to me. I'm just currently not reading. It's not because you recommended it or did XYZ.
Exactly.
It's that she didn't want to take your recommendation until it was given by somebody she deemed of value
diabolical
to discuss it with.
To call me and be like, hey, a man read these books. Can you explain which books I have to read first? To me, no. Call your man. No,
I was about to say,
I did it.
Like you're not going to get me now. I
did it because I was like, you're going to have a journey. But then I was like, there's something fish. But now this is what I'm doing. I'm dismantling the patriarchy one friend at a time.
I appreciate that.
One friend at a time.
Thank you for your service.
Anyway, you're welcome. That's my small celebration. I stood up and I was like, listen up.
You got
do things because I tell you to do them. Don't do them don't not do them because everyone's doing it. I'm with everyone. I'm here with the girlies. If the girlies want me to do it, I'll do it. Because I trust them.
Yeah.
The men want me to do it. I'd never do that thing. They can't even read. Because books are for girls.
Sometimes, like, celebrities like Leah Michele and, like, Paige DeSorbo, people are like, oh, they don't know how to read.
Leah Michele cannot read.
We should start a rumor that men don't know how to read. Just consistently. Every time a man reads a menu, I'm going to be like, you can read.
I think we should do the whole population. Men in general. We don't need specific ones.
No, that's what I'm saying. I want to every time a man reads, be like shocked that they can read.
No, I love that. Be like, what are you ordering? And they point and I'm like, did you just memorize the words? Or do you
did
actually
somebody read
know?
this menu to you before you came here?
Yeah. Did you AI hear it out loud before? What's happening? No, I love that. We should bully men more in a general consensus about, I love that you said, like, because some things are for the girls. Skipping for the girls. Umbrellas for girls.
Yep.
Blowing on soup, girls.
Blow drying your hair, girls.
That's for the girls. Yeah, I don't know. So we should shame men every time they do something. Running a country, that's for girls. I don't know why men keep doing it. I don't know why.
Why do they think that that's for them?
Yeah, no, they need to get out of our areas. You know what's for boys? NASCAR. Go back to doing that. You know what else is for boys? War. Go to war. That's so fun for the boys. Not the gay boys.
Go have a sleepover.
Gay men will accept gay men. Gay men are the girls.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. The non-binary, those are the girlies. If you are a cis straight man,
especially white,
you get
You're going to war.
You get NASCAR. You could get bungee jumping and skydiving. That's all yours.
Hiking mountains.
Hiking mountains.
You can go to Mount Everest
without a guide. Hell,
chopping wood.
Mount Everest is already for the white people.
Yes.
And shout out to like the people of color that have to take these white people up the mountain for funsies like 3 times a day. Yeah. No, amazing. That's why Mount Everest is only impressive when white people do it because
because the guides are like running circles around these people. They're like, I do this every 3 days. Come on.
Literally. Owning donkeys, that's for the boys. Just like really random. Let me know. You know what? If everyone wants to send me a topic, I'll tell you if it's for the boys or for the girls.
Yes.
And in the girls, we're counting in non-binary and gay men. Of course.
Yeah.
Welcome to our
club.
Our champ. Welcome to our cult. But if it's for the boys, I'll let you know. And we'll happily give it up. Absolutely. Yeah. Picking weeds for the boys.
Laying out in the sun for the girls.
For the girls. See, it's really easy to get. It's you know what else is for the boys?
What?
Oil rigs. Enjoy your oil rigs. I love that. Colonization for the boys.
Boo.
Figure that out.
Well, let's stop doing that. That should be for nobody.
You know, you're right. That's so true. You know, Antarctica for the boys. Polar bears for the boys.
Going on an Antarctica cruise for the girls.
That's for the girl. If we're cruising it, if we're living in Antarctica, that's for the boys.
Yeah.
If we're cruising,
traveling for the girls,
that's girls. Yeah, and we'll, like I said, we'll be more than happy if you have a question. Is this for the boys or girls? We'll let you know.
I don't think there's anything that sits in the middle outside of just eating food.
Yeah, we could even go in specific certain foods, but that's more gray area.
Like just sustaining your life for both people. That's about it.
Yeah, breathing is for all.
I would like to take it away, but
I would love to take that. I was gonna say. Yeah, kissing your relatives on the lips
for nobody.
Boys.
No.
I mean, what in the White Lotus?
That's with colonization. We're archiving that.
We're gonna end that
for all.
No, I'm down. I'm down.
My gosh,
mental health for everyone, because
you know what? That's a good point. That's a life sustaining thing, though.
Therapies for everyone, for sure.
That like lives in boy column though. Like that is heavily needed over there.
But, like, we also need it. We're just doing it. We're doing it.
Required learning over on their side. Yeah. We are doing it because we're okay.
Yeah.
We're like, we need to do it.
Honestly, as we talk today, I'm just going to randomly ask you if it's for the boys or girls.
Oh, my God.
And I think you should do the same.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'll try.
Great. What's your small celebration?
This is, like, not to your level, so
sad.
Mine's super small now.
Great.
I changed my bedding over from my down comforter to my quilt, and I had to do it because I need to mentally pretend like spring is happening in Chicago. Okay. So like summer is coming. I had to change my bedding.
Can I ask you a really, it's going to divide us, I think, this question.
What?
It's controversial. Do you use a top sheet?
No, we've talked about this.
Oh, I don't use the top sheet either.
I don't mind them in a hotel, but I will never be the person to put that on.
Okay, I'm glad, because I think this is very divided, but I don't top sheet.
We talked about this before, and I think
have we?
Yeah, and I think it was Tonette, but somebody on Patreon was like, "You guys are crazy for not using a top sheet."
What's the point?
If you don't clean your like comforter bedding,
I'll clean it.
You need to use a top sheet because then like that's gross. So the top sheet is a barrier between the two. But like I think it was Tonette. I remember discussing it. I clean my quilt and my duvet cover frequently.
Yeah, all of it. I prefer it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
the best part is even as a child, my mom would make the bed with a top sheet, and first night of me sleeping in it, the top sheet is kicked to the bottom.
Yeah.
My body physically can't do a top sheet.
It feels uncomfortable.
I rebel. So shout out to those who don't use top sheets. What's the point? It's a waste of fabric at this point.
Honestly.
Anyway, oh my God, fun celebration.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Do you have some news? Do you have any news?
I do have a little. Do you? Do you want to go first?
I just want to shout out officially. UConn did win the women's. Last time I was talking to everyone on this podcast, I was like, I can't wait to see them win.
Yeah.
They officially did win. They won the Natty. Meredith was also watching it because we both teared up when Paige Beckers, may I say,
left the
court. Walked off, hugged. It was really cute. And now I'm so deep. So Paige then was on Jimmy Fallon. She spoke 0 words, which was so weird.
Why?
Meredith,
he was just talking over her?
Meredith, it was so weird. He was doing his monologue, right? And he's like doing this segment, and he's like, congrats to Paige Buckets, because like that's her nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to her and the UConn team for winning. I wish I could hold the Natty. And then she walks out with the trophy, and he's like, oh my God, it's Paige Beckers. And then he's like, can I hold it? And she hands it to him, and he's like, oh my God, amazing. Everyone's cheering. And he's like, go take it for a spin around. And then she just like walks through the audience with the Natty and then leaves. And I was like, you couldn't give her like a mic for a line?
That's crazy.
No, it was so crazy. But she was also on Good Morning America. Very cute. She was on Nightly News with Lester Holt, the kids segment. A kid interviewed her.
Wait, that's cute.
Yeah, AZ Fudd also went on Good Morning America. They're doing their full tour, and WNBA.
That is such a quick turnaround. I think that's crazy.
It's rude. It's honestly rude to not give these women like more time to celebrate. Especially like last year, Caitlin Clark had to go back to Iowa and then fly to New York for the draft, like almost immediately in that week. And the actual like game wasn't in Iowa. So she was like flying everywhere. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, so Paige is in New York currently because I can't imagine. Well, she could go back to Connecticut, honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
wait,
they're all in New York.
I didn't realize that this would have been Gigi Bryant's freshman year of college.
And she was set on UConn.
Yeah. Like I mean, I knew she was obsessed with UConn. I didn't realize. It's crazy how much time has passed because I think they passed right at the start of 2020, right?
I think 29. Oh, no, you're right. It was like the start of 2020.
Yeah, before the pandemic really went in full force. And that made me tear up so much when I was seeing those types of edits. Like everybody was saying like they want it like with her. Like I wonder if they're going to do something when they get their rings and like give Vanessa Bryant like a ring.
I don't think so.
I feel like they might. That family gets a lot of stuff. Not that it's not deserved, but it's
No. I get that, but I don't think they're gonna give. The UConn team hasn't really publicly said that much about it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's everyone else that's like, oh my God, Gigi would have been a part of the team. And I'm sure like Paige, who knew Kobe and like did his Mamba like classes or whatever, and like also knew Gigi and like Coach Gino, they knew, but I don't think like everyone else knew as much.
Yeah, it's just like it's more the pop culture sense of it for them.
I think it's more pop culture.
That's true.
I will say the UConn, this is a heartwarming story. It's about to get you. The UConn team volunteered at a children's hospital, like, you know, while this past year or so, and they became friends with one girl there. Her name was Abby, and they would like go over to her house and like hang out with her, and she was like a terminally ill cancer patient. But they would go, like the UConn team would go over to her house and have dinner with her. They would like visit with her. She came to some games and like they really hung out with her. And then she passed before the tournament.
Oh gosh.
Very sad. Well, she got really sick, and the UConn team like almost like right after practice wrote these notes to her, dropped them off, like, and then she did pass. And then they were wearing like Love Abby shirts from when Abby would write them notes.
With
and it was her signature.
Yeah,
on her heart. Because they would also text her, and they said it was like very like younger sister-esque, where they'd be like, oh, how was school today? And like really keep up with her. So like very sad. So I think if anything, they would give her family a ring.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, it could have been, honestly, Gigi was a great talent. Obviously with Kobe's genes, and it would have been her year at UConn. She would have been out there. She would have been the big four. It would have been the big four instead of the big three.
Isn't that crazy?
I can't imagine she wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
Unless she was really bad compared to everyone else, which I, again, can't imagine. But yeah. That also brings up, can I tell you a theory?
Yeah.
I'm going to talk this whole episode. Okay. I believe, particularly with sports, but let's just hone in on basketball because that's what I'm familiar with. You need three things to be like 100% a perfect basketball player. And let me tell you what all these things are, right? 50% of being a perfect basketball player is like hard work, heart, you know, how much you love the game, how you're willing to work for it. Like 50% is
like
how
your
much
drive.
How much you put in, your drive, your grit, all of that. 25% is your natural ability, your talent, your genes, right? Because I used to love the game of basketball. I put 110% in. I was 5'2". I was going nowhere in this sport. I was also chubby kid. I was going nowhere in this sport.
Gaping hole on that 25% genes area.
I was a 0. I could be everywhere else 100, not here. And then the other 25% is just like almost like luck or opportunity because injuries, unfortunate accidents, like all these things can like obviously ruin
and like
your
access to scouts seeing you to be able to go to
opportunity.
Yeah.
knowing the right people, the right time. So like Paige that could have been a fucked up place for her because she was out 2 seasons with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But she came back. But you can always get re-injured and it would be worse and you have to go through surgery. So I think that's what makes like a perfect basketball player. And I was thinking about that because I was like, damn, I never got injured. And I had so much heart. But because I'm sitting at 5'2", my ass was never making it.
And what's
like,
hard
never,
is that jeans one is like, that is a static thing. It can't be changed. Whereas the opportunity and how much heart and drive you put into it can kind of flow into each other a little bit.
Yeah.
And like the more hustle you have and like the more you try to put, and that this is with any opportunity. Like there are the like Nepo babies who do have doors open for them, but sometimes the time spent and the hustle and like how much grit you have can then open some doors for you. And so those two like flow into each other in a different way.
Not that talent or the natural talent and
you can't change that height.
Nope. I could have become faster. I could have gotten stronger. There was no way and the worst part is I watched all the games in the tournament, as many as I could. And even on, I think it was on USC, there was a girl that played who probably wouldn't get much playing time, but because Juju Watkins is out, again, there's the 25%. Yeah. Juju Watkins is out with an ACL injury. This girl starts dribbling around. I'm like, oh my God, she's a tiny little ant out there. She looks microscopic. So I look her up because I'm like, a 5'2" star. Nope, she's 5'9". And I literally went, would be tiny compared to her.
You thought the 5'9" girl was an ant.
Yeah, sometimes I think like, oh my God, I would love to meet like Paige and AZ. No, I don't want to take a picture with them. I want them sitting down and I'll stand behind them because to then be like, I'm 30, I could have babysat you and here I am.
It is funny
over you.
The perception, because when you are watching a game, there are people who do look like ants. And then if you were to meet them, you're like, oh, you are a giant to me.
You're tiny. Oh God. Well, that was my new. Well, can I go a little bit further into women's basketball news? Yeah. Okay. So with the new NIL rules in college sports, you can now make money if you're a college athlete. Hip, hip, hooray. So a lot more players are looking for big teams with opportunities as well. So the transfer portal is a little crazy.
I don't like where we're at with it all. It's not working as a viewer for me.
The amount of people transferring in the transfer pool. And today, most of them, I was like, wow, that's a shock. That's crazy. I can't believe. There's one girl on UConn because she is hated. So she's leaving, but no one cares about that one. But South Carolina's star, Malaysia Fuwiley, has entered the transfer pool as of today. Yep. Which is crazy. But I get it because she wasn't a starter. She would come off the bench and like disrupt. Yeah. But she was there. She was so good. And it's unfortunate that there were like a lot of seniors and juniors. So like they were probably getting more playing time. Nope, she's off. And then with the UConn player that's just entered the transfer pool, everyone's like, oh my God, Gino needs to snatch her up and make an unbeatable team.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. But I don't know really what she's looking for. I want to know why she's entering. And it doesn't mean you have to leave your team behind.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like I don't want to be here anymore. I want to see what's better.
Yes, I want to see what's out there. And like, so if you do return to your team, that's awkward. I think it's hard for fandom to constantly have a changing team because even like professional sports, like people get traded and things do shift around, but not at the rate that we're seeing a lot of these like college sports move. Basketball is the worst one because you have your starting five. And so if that completely crumbles, like you have people in very specific spots in a low amount of people and there's less playing time. So if you don't get played for 1 year, like you said with the woman on South Carolina, there's opportunity next year, but she's probably pissed off and like talking to other teams, wanting those NIL deals, wanting the playing time. And it's like that opportunity might be there just in a year.
Yeah, no, I think if she had stayed at South Carolina, she would have been a starter. I think she was just mad because she truly was like the breakout star of South Carolina, but she didn't play because she would come off the bench. And
yeah, and I get it. Like I want these people to have their playing time and I want them to get their money. It's just like where it's sitting right now, I just don't think it's working. So I think it does need some tweaking because I find it really hard to build a team in the environment that we're in.
I think it's very difficult to build a team. I have to say, besides this one girl on UConn that no one liked, no one else is entering that portal. So I have a feeling a lot of people are maybe trying to go to UConn. I feel like that's like because it's such a basketball dynasty, like everyone would die to go there. I do know a girl, I think Olivia something on Notre Dame. She entered the transfer pool. She deferred the debut for her 5th year. She entered the transfer pool and she's going to TCU now, which for the first time they made it to the Final Four. So she's like leaving Notre Dame. But I think that's also because one of her teammates is homophobic. Yeah. I forget Hannah Hilgado or something like that. Now I'm like, I can't get any of these names wrong. I'm going to be called out.
That sucks.
Olivia Miles commits to TCU. There's rumors that Hannah Hilgado or whatever on Notre Dame is homophobic because she reposted a Candace Owen TikTok that said that marriage was between a man and a woman.
Hate that. Like, I want those people to be able to leave. Like, if you don't feel comfortable, confident on a team, I like that the transfer portal exists.
Yes. But everyone's entered this transfer portal. I'm surprised about Malaysia because I do like Dawn as a coach. Yeah. And she's a proven winner. So you could do worse. But now I'm like, dude, what if now that there's an open spot on UConn, dude, I don't know. He might snatch her up super quick. And then on top of that, let's just one more women's basketball tidbit. Have you heard of the Sedona Prince issues? Great.
Oh, yeah.
She sucks. So she's officially declared for the WNBA draft.
Which I heard she's probably not going to be drafted. Isn't she like not good?
Okay, my first issue with her is she's 6'7" and she's terrible. If I'm 6'7", there's nothing stopping me from being great at basketball.
I think about this with a lot of like bigs is sometimes they're only good, and I put that in quotes for anybody who's just listening, that they're only good because they're just a giant body. Like, you physically are in the way of people. You're not actually good at the sport. You are just the right body type for this. Similar to your 25-50-25 rule. Yeah. It's like they don't
you got the genes.
Have the skill. They have the genes. But they have the opportunity. They don't really have the skill. They maybe have like 25% in the skill like area.
Yes. Yeah, she's terrible.
Because there's a few bigs across like both men's and women's where I see them and I'm like,
what are you doing?
You're not good at this. You're not good at this.
There's a big on UCLA that is muscular. She's a freshman, so I get why she's a little awkward out there. She just doesn't know, you know? And it's UCLA's first time in the tournament. I could tell she was timid. She didn't really know what to do. She's 6'7", but she's got muscle. By her senior year, she's going to fucking dominate. Sedona Prince is literally 25 years old. She's been in college for 7 fucking years. And she is just an awkward Gumby, like, she's one of those like the balloons that float in the wind. That's literally her when she plays. You're ginormous. She fouled out in like the third quarter of her last game. How are you fouling out?
Didn't she only get
right in front of you?
Didn't she only get like 4 points too?
No, literally only 4 points. She's terrible. She's entering the draft. And again, all these teams are going to be like 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". And you know what? Because she went to Texas Christian, everyone's like, the only WNBA team that like might take her is Dallas. And Paige is going to be on Dallas. So like, don't do that to Paige. So everyone on TikTok is like, do not draft her.
I don't know, because
keep her out.
Like, this is the like professional leagues. They know that she's not that good. So hold on. I don't know enough about the WNBA, but
yes.
And you may not know these answers, and that's okay.
Ask the question.
But do you know how many people get drafted each draft?
Not off the top. There's like 3 rounds. You can watch 3 rounds of like
the live stuff.
Yeah. And then I think there are like walk-ons, and if you want to like talk to the coaches separately.
Then, are there development leagues? Because I know like the NBA has like the G League, and that a lot of times guys will get drafted, but they might not go to.
Okay, I do know that you can, because Nika Mule talked about this. She was a UConn Husky 2 years or last year, and then she got drafted to Seattle Storm. And then there's a video of her talking to Gino. This is how I figured this out. she's talking to Gino, and Gino's like, you're going to do great in Seattle. And she goes, if I make the team. So I think you can get drafted.
Yeah.
And then if you're not good enough, you either like are benched or you go to like the developmental team.
Yes.
So I think so, yes.
Okay, because that makes sense. Because I know like the NFL has that too. Like when you're in training camps,
you're on
you have
the
a
team.
larger.
They can pull you up at any time.
Yes, but you're not on I'll call
team.
it weekly team. Like
the
people who are suiting up for each game.
Yeah, you're not on the jersey team. You're in the
you're in the locker room.
Yeah, no, you're being
on the
hidden.
Practice squad.
But like, don't put her on anything. Oh
See,
my God.
I have to think that there are so many people who are already stars actually playing on this team that's suiting up every game. And then there have to, because like we've been drafting players.
Yeah.
There have to be people even in the developmental league that are better than Sedona. So.
Well, also just add like the negative publicity you're going to get as a team who like
she's a terrible person.
Already people are like, we'd want to, if whatever team gets her, like I can't go see that game.
Yeah.
Which is just terrible because like if it is Paige, like fuck, dude, you just ruined.
I think if Sedona gets drafted, she's in that developmental league, and it's just like
still though. Why are you giving her a chance? Why are you giving her money? Why are you? She's not a good person.
I think the only reason she would get drafted, and sometimes when you're drafted, and if you don't make the team, you don't make the exact salary that you were like promised. So that's all. I think it would just be, hey, she's the last like big out there.
She's the big.
So it like let's say that there's 8 rounds. You like might as well see what she's got, and we can always like drop her.
Don't drop. If you're listening, everyone, don't pick her.
I know that everybody who matters in the WNBA listens to this podcast.
She's already 25. Like
that's the thing.
And she's this bad. And as you get older, sure, you can get better, but your body starts to rebel. So like her body's on its last leg. Like, cut it out. Anyway, that's
the percentage of her genes are going down.
Her genes are going down. Her genes were already like good, and then her genes weren't good because she looks crazy out there. You know how some people have just like a natural athletic ability, even if they're not good at the sport they're doing. Like we do because we played sports and we were kind of good at them growing up.
Thank you so much for that credit.
I don't play tennis, but if you put me on a tennis court,
we have like just like natural reaction times. And
I'll look like I'm doing okay. She doesn't look athletic. She's crazy. Get her off. Anyway, that's enough of basketball.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's run through some other news that's
Give me
happening.
anything else. Anything.
Okay, I did a video about this on TikTok, but Next Gen NYC trailer came out in the cast. Do you think you're going to watch this? What are your thoughts on that?
I think I probably will have to for this show.
I know.
But the only thing that really stood out to me in this trailer was that Gia only appeared at one dinner. Is she even in the group? She didn't appear anywhere else. She was just at that one dinner that they were having.
And her boyfriend isn't a part of the cast, but I think he might live in like LA or something.
Shrug.
Whereas like Ariana, Kim Zolciak's daughter, her boyfriend is on the cast with her.
This show is just gonna like, I think if it is good drama or not, it'll anger me.
I know.
Because it's just gonna be a bunch of children arguing about like, I don't even know.
I have a few thoughts on it. One, I'm excited to kind of see these kids. Like I find the next generation thing kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
I like that they have newbies and that the newbies are kind of like privileged people like them.
Do you think they're all friends for real?
They're not.
Okay,
and that's what I think is actually going to tank this show.
Oh, okay, great.
Because I don't think some of them moved to the city or like hung out or knew each other until this show was like being conceptualized.
You're gonna tell me Meredith Mark's son and Teresa Giudice's daughter didn't like hang out on the reg before the show? Of course they didn't.
Yeah. So
of course.
It doesn't seem like there is one person who is the reason why a few of these people know each other.
Maybe. So the other people we don't know, they're also privileged. I mean, they have
a good chunk of them are. So Ariana's boyfriend his parents created Zaxby's. So like he is a Nepo baby. They're like co-owners or like I don't know if they actually created the company. But
I mean, all you've told me about him is he's going to be a terrible person, which means great reality TV.
And they've been dating like for a while. So like this isn't just like a new relationship for the show.
Amazing.
And then the other people, some of them are from New York. And so that makes sense.
Okay.
Like one girl, her dad is in music and her mom's like in fashion. And so she's definitely like a Nepo baby.
I'd love a terrible Nepo baby.
The others, it seems like they either like went to NYU or are like influencers.
Okay.
Just like people who.
Oh my God, it's going to be a show about influence. Is that where we're at now?
Yeah. That's what I also think isn't going to be great. What makes me sad is I think it's going to be harder to turn that Summer House cast into a New York City show when we already have Real Housewives in New York. We have this show running. Like, what else can we do in New York?
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because the reason we're doing this show is because there are Bravo Nepo babies that they're like, they're entertaining on Housewives. Let's give them their own show, right? The problem is Summer House is good because there were people with actual fucking jobs, right? Vanderpump Rules is good because there were actual servers trying to make rent. And now I understand TikTok influencer culture has taken off. That's great. Get your bag however you can. It's just like, I don't know if I want a crew of them. What am I going to watch them do all day?
I know.
What do they do? Maybe it'll be like an interesting study for the rest of us.
Influencers as like the job description is necessarily the bad thing, because one of the Real Housewives in New York, she's an influencer and I do find her interesting. They just don't show her life in an interesting way. They did like with the woman's name is Sai. With Sai, they did like a video on TikTok or Instagram about her influencing, and everybody found it fascinating. And people are like, why didn't you show this on the show?
Yeah.
People kind of do want that peek behind the curtain of what it is like to be an influencer, but they're not showing that. It's like, you just can in midday, like go get drinks with your friends. You have a flexibility with filming, but you got to show the behind the scenes of your actual job, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. And does Gia live in New York?
I think she will for this. But last we left off on Real Housewives in New Jersey, she was living with her mom studying for the bar.
Okay. I don't know how I'm going to have to watch it, I know, for the show. I'm going to have to, but I don't know how I'm going to feel about it.
I kind of think I'm going to like keep tabs on their viewership, because now that I've looked it up for Summer House Martha's Vineyard and even Southern Hospitality, I like kind of understand where the metrics need to be for a show to take off.
Well, it's just unfortunate for Summer House Martha's Vineyard because that was a good show.
I know.
And now you're giving me this? Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see a lot of people of color in this cast.
They're actually, I will give them credit, because this will be the first time a trans woman, amazing.
Well, let me finish your sentence first before I say amazing.
I think this is the first time, I think just someone who is transgender is a full-time cast member on a show on Bravo.
Ooh, okay.
She's amazing. A trans woman. I just don't know if there's ever been a trans man on a show, but we had
not in the main cast.
We had Billy on Vanderpump Rules, but not in the main cast. So that is great. I really am excited. And she has a very interesting story. But
tell that story.
She was like a creative director or like a fashion director for Paper Magazine until it closed, and she was the first trans woman to model for Victoria's Secret.
Ooh, love that. So they could tell her story, and that would be interesting. I don't know what we're going to do with, what's his name? Marks? Something Marks.
Brooks Marks. And like Gia.
I
think what's hard is like Brooks is doing stuff in fashion. I don't know what the hell Ariana is doing, but it sounds like she might be doing something with fashion based on the trailer because someone shades her about it.
You know, it'd be fun if they were competing against each other.
Like a little Project Runway-esque.
She also opened up a sweatsuit line. That would be fun. You know what? I think we'll just have to see. It's too early to tell.
We're going to have to watch episode 1 and decide. But I am kind of hoping...
We slept on Southern Hospitality. I'll just say that. We did. We slept on it.
But I think we needed to binge it. I don't think we would have liked it week to week.
I would have blown my brains.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Still with Bravo, though. Have you heard about Patrick McDonald? He was a producer on some of the reality TV shows, and he recently came out saying that he joined OnlyFans as a content creator, and Bravo iced him out on shows since he joined.
What do you mean by iced him out? Like, he's just not...
They will not call him back for any producing work. Like, yeah. He worked his way up. He actually was a reality TV cast member on a show and then loved it so much, but his show didn't continue, that he got into the production side of things.
Ooh.
Worked his way up from
okay,
the lowest level up into a I think the producer of the little teams. He was never the executive producer or co-executive producer, but he ran specific production crews for individual cast members. He worked on Beverly Hills, OC, Vanderpump Rules. He did the last 2 seasons of Vanderpump. And he kept saying when a season would end for those shows, he would not be called back to be a producer on them.
All because of his OnlyFans?
All because of his OnlyFans. So he put out a video, a bunch of cast members commented on it, production people saying he was one of the best producers they worked with. They loved him so much. Some of them were cast members still on the show. Some are ones who have gone on.
Damn.
And he was actually on Bethany Frankel's podcast this week. And normally I'm not, it's Nick Viall. I'm I don't want to engage with this, but I saw
but you had to listen.
A clip of it online. And so I had to listen for this exact thing. Lisa Vanderpump called him and was trying to dig information out of him, apparently. And he was I know when you're pumping me for information. I produce shit like this.
Yeah,
I know how this works when you're trying to get information out of people.
Mm-hmm.
And his assessment is that she was trying to pump him for information and kind of offered him a role on Vanderpump to kind of shut him up, to get him to stop talking about this stuff and stop talking bad about Bravo. I guess it actually isn't Bravo's fault, I guess. It's the production company who I think gets to make these decisions.
Yeah.
But being stop talking about this. What do we have to do to basically stop you from discussing this?
Okay, well, I fucking hate Lisa Vanderpump now, so that's fine. That's unfortunate. I mean, listen, obviously OnlyFans is a new territory. I feel that it's becoming more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say more people are getting on it. I think it's similar to how we used to look at sex workers or even reality TV stars, where people would just hear you're doing this. I mean, Wes got fired or Jesse got fired for being on Summer House. So I think there needs to be a lot of growth with this.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on his OnlyFans. Is
I
he
don't know.
Really all out there? Does it make someone on production uncomfortable that he's doing someone on his team?
I will say his initial video was more so about the treatment of just the crew and how miserable it is. He was
that's upsetting.
I'm just sad about how people are treated. I was iced out over this, but I live a much happier life. I have my own schedule. It is a grueling job as a crew member on these shows. You don't get to eat meals sometimes. You won't go to the bathroom for a long time. They give you, 14-hour days.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always somebody at the end of the day who has to write all the notes up from what happened with that crew. And so he's we will work 12-hour days. And then somebody has to sit there sometimes for 4 hours writing up a report and be up at 6 a.m. the next morning to do it all again. They worked 6 days a week. You get one day to basically go to the grocery store, reset your life, and get back in there.
Of course, a terrible job to have. I feel bad that he was mistreated then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. OnlyFans isn't a bridge I've had to cross yet.
Me neither.
But I feel if you want to have an OnlyFans, have an OnlyFans.
Especially when you're a crew member. Who the fuck cares?
The fuck do I get? Here's the thing to his crew who is maybe uncomfortable with it. Don't go watch his OnlyFans. Go to someone else's
I don't think it was the crew, though.
Well, whoever was upset about it. Why? Yeah. Who cares if he has an OnlyFans? Don't go to his OnlyFans.
That's the thing. He's not putting out billboards of his dick everywhere.
It's the same thing with if you're uncomfortable, someone's a sex worker, don't go see that person. You will never have to know them as a sex worker.
True.
You never have to know this man.
It is your choice to interact with it.
Yeah, it's your choice to see what's on his OnlyFans. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
As my dad likes to say, if it doesn't affect him personally, he doesn't care.
I don't either. Unless you bring it to my table, it's not my job.
Unless if he was showing everyone his OnlyFans, yeah, that's fucking weird. But No, it sounds like this was just his side gig.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of crazy that Bravo didn't accept it, because we had, what's his name on Southern Hospitality was an OnlyFans guy with his like milkman crap.
Yuck. That man should be shamed because he was like bathing in milk. It was
a milk thing, not an OnlyFans thing.
It was a weird moment. Yeah. Anyway. Great.
Next up is, did you see Ramona's Facetune?
No. Do I have to look it up right now?
I'll send you 2 photos.
Where do I go?
Right now.
Oh. What happened? She got Facetune?
Okay. This, Alicia.
What does that even mean?
It's that app that you like edit your face.
Oh.
Okay.
She Facetuned herself?
Here is Ramona actually on that day.
Okay.
That's what she looks like.
Oh, I think I did see this, but send me the Facetune anyway.
Here's the photo of her with other people.
I didn't know what I was looking at.
And this is a close-up.
This is on her Instagram story, and then this is... My God!
And she's claiming in the comments she doesn't know how it happened.
Someone commented Avery... No,
it does look like Avery.
No, this woman is something else. She's not related to this family. Who is that? Literally, who is? If you just showed me this photo, I couldn't even tell you what Bravo show this person would be on. This could be anyone. The worst part is her face looks 22. Her arm looks 57. If you look at her arm and hand, that's an aged arm and hand.
Yes.
That's the worst part about this, is that she didn't Facetune her arm.
She's like claiming she didn't do it.
Who did this?
But here's the thing. Why would you post a photo where you look like that? Let's say you didn't do it and you get sent that photo. I would have been like, send me the original.
Who did this? They should be fired. Whoever did this on Ramona's team.
It reminds me of when Mary Cosby edited a photo of her in her confessional for Salt Lake City this last year. And people are like, Mary, we see the real you every week.
No. It's just stop Facetuning. Oh my God, she posted this recently.
No, this was like yesterday.
Just another great night in Palm Beach. Everyone, Ramona. Comments have been limited and they're still terrible. You look like a newborn. The fact that we don't have a camera on her while she's editing this masterpiece is upsetting. Oh my God, I'm screaming. This makes you look younger than Avery. Where in the Anna Kendrick is going, or what in the Anna Kendrick is going on? Oh my God.
Oh God.
How is this the most unhinged thing Ramona has done? Madame Trousseau realness. Oh my God, she's a wax sculpture. No, literally. The fact too that you can literally go one picture over and you just have like,
yes,
this normal photo
like,
of Ramona.
Babe, come on.
Whoa. Shout out to her delusion. Wow. Why would she post that? Is she going blind? Are her eyes bad?
Isn't it so funny? It's so good.
Who is that? That's not even, you cannot tell me this is Facetune. This is someone else's face.
She like cut a circle around her face and like put in.
No, she literally has the best Photoshop skills. I can't get over that her arm is literally a different generation than her.
No, that is her generation. Her face is 20 years younger.
Than her face. No, for sure.
Honestly,
her arm
30.
is a different generation than her face. I'm going to delete these photos in our time.
Yes,
I can't look at this.
It's a lot. I stared at them for a long time.
It's worse, too, that she's with, like, 2 young men in this photo that, like, could be this person's age. That's the person that's supposed to be Ramona. That's not her. You can't convince me. You truly can't. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm going to be haunted. Do you have other news?
I have no more news. We can move on.
This is how we end. Oh my God. What do we do now?
Let's go to something even more.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Wait, did you read anything?
I finished the book. I finished Daughter of No Worlds finally. I gave it 4 stars. In the end, it just took me a long time to get through it. I
Mhm.
don't know why. Maybe I'm in a reading slump. I'm not sure. I was watching a
You
lot of
should go ask
basketball.
a man for a recommendation.
Obviously, that's the one I would take. I'm not even on Book Talk anymore because I'm all on Page Edit Talk. But it's so weird. I'm 30. It's so weird, everyone. Get me an older basketball player. Also, I just want to this is my last basketball. Do you know who Brianna Stewart is?
No.
She plays for the Liberty. I thought she was significantly older than me. She is a year older than me. And I was like, oh my God, I have no concept of time because Paige seems like she's my age and she's 7 years younger. So I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I started a new book. So you might remember during February, I was trying to read books by Black authors for Black History Month.
Oh, I did not know that.
Crazy. I read this book called Before I Let Go in February.
Yeah.
And it was about, I think I talked about it. It was about this woman who like gets divorced from her husband, but like they have kids and like whatever. It was a cute story. I gave it 4 stars. But there's an interconnected series, so obviously I'm going to read the second. It was free on Kindle Unlimited. I know I'm fucking stuck in this Kindle thing. I'm just waiting for my Kindle Unlimited to expire again, and then I'll move on.
Are there other options?
Yeah, I'm just not going to pay an extra $12 a month to Jeff Bezos for Kindle Unlimited. But I'm stuck with the Kindle.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I already
yeah.
paid the month, so I was like,
I see what you're saying.
I'm finishing it up.
Okay, I'm tracking the whole Kindle Jeff Bezos thing.
I have a Kindle, but I pay for Kindle Unlimited that I want to stop because fuck Amazon. But I already paid, so I got to get all the free books I can. Okay, but I'm reading this book. It's called This Could Be Us. And it's about another woman in like this friend group.
Yeah.
And so this woman, she is...
Wait, really quick.
Yeah.
This is part of the series where you had one book about the girl, and then wasn't her brother involved in the other book? Was that it?
No, that was Abby Jimenez.
Oh,
that was
okay.
different.
Never mind.
This is, I'm sure, I think I was reading a lot at this time, so there might have been a few books.
Mm-hmm.
This was around the time of the rugby book, so this book got overshadowed, I'm sure. But this woman in the book, she is married to this total asshole. He's a white man from Boston. So, I mean, I know. And she's a
dick,
beautiful...
That's a boy thing.
That boy thing. She's a beautiful, like, African-American Latina woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, beautiful, I'm sure. Anyway, so in the last book with her friend, you could tell the friend hated her husband. And I was like, I do too. So she now has this husband who like doesn't want to fuck her, doesn't want to be loving towards her, criticizes what she's wearing,
oh my
like
God.
Is total dick right out the gate, right? And I'm like, they're gonna get divorced. And then this bitch is literally the man. The bitch is the man. He's complaining about how there's a new director of accounting at work who's on his ass. And in my head, I was just like, yeah, I mean, accountants are annoying. I know. It's me. So he's bitching about an accountant, blah, blah, blah. And then the FBI shows up and arrests him for embezzlement. And I went,
hell yeah.
It's a forensic accountant. That went over my head.
Yeah.
That was mentioned. And so now she's like, not only do I hate my husband, but she's also a stay-at-home mom. So she was like attached to him. So she wasn't going to leave him.
Yeah.
And then he like goes to jail and she's like, what the fuck? And he's like, I can't tell you anything. And she's like, I'm going to find evidence against you because fuck you, my guy. But then she's like falling for the forensic accountant that put her ex in jail. I know, it's very complicated. The only problem I see arising is the asshole white man from Boston did mention the name of the forensic accountant in front of his kids because they have 3 daughters. So the kids do know what the forensic accountant's name is. So I only imagine when their mom starts dating this accountant, they're going to hate him because he's the one that put their dad in jail.
Yeah.
But their dad also cheated on their mom and gave her chlamydia. So I think we should all look at
Christ. That. Yeah, but
And
that's not something maybe the kids know.
He's also guilty of embezzling $6 million.
Absolutely.
I think we should look at that. So that's the only problem I see arising. But this
you know that's going to be the conflict.
I hate a hot accountant. They're not supposed to be hot, but I'm here for it. So that's what I'm reading.
I love that.
I know. Anyway,
incredible.
What are we watching?
Let's talk White Lotus.
It was a bad season. Can we agree?
Okay, I think people are being a little too harsh on it because people are
it wasn't great.
Okay, but people are more on the like, let's investigate and like get into every nitty gritty detail. This season is the most talked about. So I think people are also judging it with harsher lenses.
Maybe. I was more on the line of like, okay, my first complaint is those three women. They really didn't have anything else to do with the rest of the cast. I like when we're intertwined.
Me too.
Those three women really had nothing to do.
I was also frustrated because that is one of the cliffhanger, like, open-ended things that I wanted resolved, is when a cunty little Bob white woman talked to Victoria Ratliff and Victoria like snubbed her. I wanted a little bit more, like I wanted even cunty little Bob white woman to like call her husband and be like, man, listen to this. That would have been enough for me.
Parker
like,
Posey's ignoring me. Yeah, can you believe? Yeah, that. Two, I think the end was a little like crazy. I was like, whoa. Where do I look? This was nuts.
I agree.
And then I don't think there was enough consequence at the end, if that makes sense. Not all the
consequence for who specifically.
I wanted there to be more of a idea of what's going to happen with the Thomas Ravenel-esque man.
Yes.
I wanted more there. And I'm pissed that these three white women are fine. I wanted not cunty Bob white woman, the other short hair Lori.
Yes. The one who like slept with and had the fun night with the guys on her own.
Yes. She went to the Thai boxing match. And then there was the actress. When the actress in the last episode was like, I'm sorry, I want us all to be friends. I wanted Lori to be like, fuck the both of you. I wanted her, she'd be like, this was a great free vacation. I'll never pay you back for it. You're a bad friend. You're a cunt with a bob, like a conservative cunt with a bob, die. Like, I wanted her to just go off, and instead, she cried.
It is the most realistic thing, because if you've had 40 years of friendship, a bad vacation isn't going to ruin it, unfortunately, especially when you don't live with those friends.
That's true. You really
they
never
don't live in the same city. They're just like hanging out every once in a while. Because this is how sometimes I feel like my family friend group isn't this chaotic, but like I've known them for so long that like when I've had like a tiff with both girls in my group, and it's like, all right, our families are still friends. Like nothing can really shake the world that much.
I guess. I wish they kind of didn't have that moment though. I was like, ugh. Should we talk per group? Like, how do we could just talk the things that made us excited. Yes. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot to dissect. You know who we needed more on?
What?
The man who wants to be an Asian woman. I was fascinated. Where's his spinoff? You didn't tell me. Well, I was concerned about who Rick's dad was. I didn't give a shit. Get me back to this man who wants to be an Asian woman. I'm fascinated.
I think we wrapped everything up a little too quickly. Like we really
no, truly
led a lot of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I knew once episode 9 hit, at the end of it, I was like, we're fucking screwed for episode 10, because this is all just going to be like bing, 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 bing. And it was like when Rick left that hotel and wants to be an Asian woman guy did his little somersault in the hotel hallway. I was like, this is so funny. But like, the fuck's going to happen to him? I kind of needed a scene of him like, going on a bender even more so, and then like waking up and walking into like a monastery.
Rick's a bad friend. Rick's a
bad friend for putting his friend into that situation, but I understand Rick leaving once it went off the rails.
I get that. But the fact that your friend is in a situation who's been sober, it sounds for good reason.
Yes.
To drink
gives you that story, and then you're like, come with me on this most chaotic situation.
Yeah, let's maybe commit a murder. That happened. I thought that the younger brother in that Thomas Ravenel family should have died.
Lachlan.
He should have died.
Agree. I knew that's how
he should have died.
I thought that that's how the death was going to be, and then that Lachlan was going to. I thought it was going to be the older brother, but either way, I thought somebody was going to poison. I knew the dad was going to put the poison fruit in the blender in some way. Was going to leave it. Somebody
should have suicided his whole family. I was like, yeah, drink that.
I knew it wasn't going to end that way, so I was sitting there waiting for him to do something and out himself, but I knew that blender was going to be used the next morning and be dirty. I knew.
Because they made a point to not show it. It was not cleaned. Yeah.
Well, even before the episode started, I had texted my dad and I said, the dad is going to kill himself or try to like think about killing himself with the fruit. He's going to leave it in the blender. And I thought Patrick Schwarzenegger's character was going to wake up the next morning, do
Make
what
a protein
Lachlan did,
drink. Yeah.
not feel well and be stumbling around the resort and fall into the water, and he was going to be the dead body. And then it didn't happen. And I was like, damn it.
This sounds terrible, but poor Lachlan. I kind of felt for him. Okay. He shows up with a family of narcissists for sure. He's getting pulled by his older siblings left, right, and center, right? Both of them need him always.
I feel like the brother pulls more than the sister does. I think the sister's like, hey, don't be like them. Let me help you.
I think he was more comfortable with his sister too. So I think he was more willing to go to the Buddhist temple. So he does. And then he's like, I want to be here with you. And she's like, this is my thing. And I was like, damn, this poor guy.
No, because he only finds his identity in other people. I understand a little bit.
That's true. I get that.
Patrick Schwarzenegger's character is like, you have to become a man on your own. Like, why don't we have to do everything? Yeah. And like, he wanted to stay with her, that's fine. But like, this was her thing. Like, that's
he was going through an existential
crisis.
That kind of crisis, because he jerked off his own brother. So like,
but I think that's how much of a people pleaser he is.
He is
to a fault. Now it's like, this is your own thing that you need to work through. This, I think other people like that nature versus nurture thing, like put you in these situations where this is the only way that you know how you're doing. I don't fuck my siblings, but I feel this way sometimes where I'm like,
Thank you for clarifying.
I am reading like how other people are interacting with me, and I just want to like make sure they're okay. And I feel like that's how Lachlan was. He's like constantly making sure everybody else is okay, and his only source of like self is in how other people are treating him and how he is like helping other people. So he thinks Patrick Schwarzenegger's character like wants this sexual gratification, and so he's like people pleasing to make his brother happy, and it just happened to be in a sexual way, which was like so fucking weird. But it's like at some point you got to stand up and like be your own person, independent of these people.
I do think though he comes back, right? He comes back. His sister's like, don't come to this Buddhist temple with me. His brother's like, stop being obsessed with me. Doesn't want to talk about what happened, but I'm sure this 18-year-old is like reeling also because he's like, I can't believe I did that.
I think it's the combination of jerking his brother off and everybody rejecting him.
Yeah. He was having a bad day. When he drank those seeds, I was like, I hope he does die. And I hope his siblings come back and are like, oh my God. The last thing I said to him was like, don't talk to me about jerking me off. Like, and they would have to live with that. Because I don't think the siblings were like good people either.
And I liked the idea that the only one who could live without money didn't have to.
Yes. I loved that idea. I was like, because that's why the dad wasn't going to kill him. I was like, oh my God, it's genius. We don't even know if like the mother and the siblings know that he drank the seeds.
That was crazy.
We don't even know.
Okay, but I thought it was so funny when they were on that boat going home, how disheveled he looked. It's like, this vacation rocked him. He's going to go to college like in the fall, and people are going to be like, how was your summer? And he's like, I had the worst fucking vacation of my life.
He's not going to college. He's going to be like, Mom, Dad, I'm taking a gap year and I'm moving to
He needs a gap year.
Yeah, he needs to go find himself somewhere else. Away from these because he's either going to go to the mom's college or the dad's college. Like,
well, they can't really afford it. Everybody's saying he has to go to UNC because like he can't afford Duke now.
UNC is so funny. No, because and I wanted more. I wanted the reaction of the family finding out that like,
yes,
I needed the dad did.
One person, basically Patrick Schwarzenegger's character, or Saxon, I always forget his name, to look at his phone and go, what the fuck?
We're broke.
Yes.
And I want everyone to be like,
I needed
what?
One
we
word
didn't
about
get that. Then Rick and what's
Chelsea?
her nut? I don't know. I know her name in real life is Amy, so I keep calling her Amy, and that's like not.
I think her name's Chelsea.
Okay, well, Rick and the British woman. Obviously, she is dating him because he has money, but also because she's like spiritual and loves him. Well, she's
I think she did have an interest in him.
I think she did too. But I like that she could recognize, like, he's a grumpy old man who's going bald. That cracks me up.
I loved that.
He didn't but he ruined her multiple times.
Similar to Katie and Tom over on Vanderpump Rules, where it's like they have this like connection.
He loved her, but he didn't like her.
I think he liked her, but he didn't love her. If that makes sense.
I mean, she got bit by a snake. something else.
He was
and
in his,
killed.
like, he was being so selfish and just couldn't look outside of him. Like, I don't think he truly hated her and wanted to hurt her by any means, but he just would not stop putting her in terrible situations.
No, truly, it bugged the shit out of me. I like that she was like, whatever, weirdo, do whatever. And then at the end, he gets her murdered. And I was like, well.
Yes, this is, I mean, everybody's saying, like, you can't fix men. Like, you will literally die over trying to fix them.
There you go. The symbolism is there. And then Rick kills the guy who ends up being his father. Which
I liked that.
That is so Star Wars. I was like, Luke, I am your father. I was like, of course, this is his dad. Why not?
But I thought it was cool. I didn't like how, like, 8 people died.
No, and then the security guard shows up and has to shoot Rick because that one woman's going nuts, the owner of the hotel. But then I don't think we talk enough. Actually, I haven't seen the public discourse, but Mook, the hotel worker.
Yeah.
She sucks.
She's
a villain.
Because she was totally ending things with guy talk and being like, you're not enough for me because you won't kill people and like use a gun. No, where he's like, oh, literally. So sorry, I have morals. But then the minute he does it and he is now the security guard, she's like, oh, yes, honey. She's the villain in all of this. I agree. She sucks.
There was no gray area with her. I was like, she sucks.
Yeah, because it was
everyone else.
It was always either she was in on the robbery.
Oh, for sure.
Or like something else happens and the something else is just, she just sucks on her own.
Oh my God, can we talk about that Russian guy who's like, can you give me money? And Lori was like, no. I was like, yo, get out. Get out of here.
But low-key, like, why do I want to be able to like do that to people?
I would have, if I was Lori, been like, yeah, I'll wire it tomorrow, and then fucking left.
Honestly, that girlfriend coming helped Lori get out of that awkward situation.
God for Lori.
Her jumping out that window, I was like, yeah, bitch, I love you.
No, thank God for her. I loved watching the 3 women, that dynamic. It was so fascinating.
Because it's so accurate. I think what's funny is it's allowing men to see what it's like to be in a 3 women relationship.
3
when you have an odd number, 3 especially, there is always somebody on the outside. I was telling my dad this. Like, this is exactly how it is. This is obviously heightened in the stuff they're talking about. But there will always be somebody looking on from the outside who feels uncomfortable and doesn't want to inject them and interject themselves. Like Lori, when she was watching the girls talk the first night, there was always one feeling like they were out on the conversation and truly looking from the outside in.
Yes, I have a group of 3 from high school and we all live separately. So like we obviously are not to this extent, like this cunty, but it does happen. Like
it just naturally happens.
Yeah, they're both on the West Coast. Like they had an extra ticket for a concert in Vegas. They were like, they both went. And I was like, damn, no one invited me. Because like, why would I fly from New York to Vegas for a concert when like it would take me hours to get there? So like, but it does hurt, but you have to also you have to be like, well, I went on vacation with this girl or I am going to see this girl.
Yeah.
So you have to remember.
You have to like respect it is hard. That each person needs one-on-one time with each other and it has nothing to do with you.
It has nothing to do with you. And it was blown out of proportion the way they talk about each other behind their back. But I loved how they did it so nice. They'd be like, she's crazy. She's crazy.
Well, you ease into it. You like drop a subtle hint, like, are we on the same page about this?
I can't believe she's an independent. And then you're like, no, she's a conservative. And it's like, oh my God, can you believe her husband? Right? Like,
you like talking code. So then if the other person repeats it back to the person you're talking about, you can backpedal your way out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a little over-exaggerated. At least for like my friend group, we don't totally. I'll say shit to your face. I say half of it on this podcast. But I loved watching their dynamic. I thought it was so fascinating. I do think the actress is a big old bitch for hooking up with that guy. When her friend, she was like pushing it on her friend.
Yes. And that is such a, like, there is a specific type of girl who does that shit.
She's insecure.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's so
especially because the actress is married. So you wouldn't even think just on like life dynamics that this would ever be a problem. Because why would you go after him? You're married.
No, literally. And then I feel like there's one more family. The massage therapist from Hawaii.
The way she became Tanya. like this like comparison of season 1 and Tanya leaving on that boat and the massage therapist from Hawaii leaving that one guy out of it.
Yeah.
That was the only part of the ending I loved. I mean, I hate that happened, but like that was really good. I know.
But I thought the guy was using her because he's like,
really?
He like hangs out with her one time and he's like, we could open a massage therapist thing. But he was the one that said we could do it together.
Well, I think because he was saying like it's cheaper to do in Thailand, so if we're funding it ourselves, like we could do this together here.
I kind of was like,
I agree. I think he was weaseling his way in there, and I don't think it was great.
Into her dream, yeah.
But she snuck out of there so fast.
That was great with her son, and they got Rick's money, right?
Yeah, it wasn't Rick, it was Greg.
Or Greg. Oh my God, when she saw him and she's like, he looks familiar. I was like, get him.
I
get
loved that
angry ball. When he showed up, I went, no, not this guy.
When they went to go ask for the money, and God, what is her name? It starts Belinda.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Belinda like storms out and doesn't clue her son in. Then he's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Go back in, get it." I was like, "Get it, get that $5 million.
Get this murderer out of here. Get all his money." And then his girlfriend was like cheating on him with the brothers.
Dude,
that was crazy.
The way
a threesome with your brothers is crazy.
Yeah, but the way she wanted then Saxton to like come and hook up with her just so like Greg could like barge in and win her over. I was like, yeah, Saxton, deny that. You've already had too many weird sex experiences right now.
Saxton was reeling over his brother jerking him off.
I mean,
get.
Rightfully so.
But there was some weird, listen, that one Rick's British woman said it best. There's not enough drugs in the world that would make me hook up with my brother.
No.
So there was something happening. I get Lachlan. He wanted to be his brother. He wanted to please his brother.
And if you think
what
about
is Saxon doing?
When you think about the first episode, Saxon like makes jokes about like, oh, I guess I'll just have to jerk off in front of you, or like he makes jokes in front of him, so it leads Lachlan to believe that like this is not that weird.
Is this normal?
But yeah. The minute Lachlan grabs Saxon, why didn't Saxon freak out more?
They kissed, and I went, "Oh my God!" Like
that was crazy.
What are we doing?
Because
what are we doing?
They weren't like blacked out at that point.
What are we doing?
Crazy.
No. Stop kissing your siblings on the lips.
Stop it. That was I'm not saying I loved the content, but the way that was edited together, where it just like slowly happened and you like got the flashbacks. I knew it was coming. I know, but like that was the best episode of the season.
The worst part was I watched that episode literally like later in the day after we talked about Bruce Willis's family taking baths together, and I was like, siblings are so weird.
Because Alicia and I recorded last week's Saturday. Also, and then she texted me that she was watching White Lotus, and I was like, what a treat to have both of those discussions and viewing that in the same day.
It was rough. It was terrible.
Did you hear, though, Mike White has done some interviews. They cut a lot out of this season.
I heard they cut a lot out.
Did you hear about how they cut out Piper and Zion's hookup, Belinda's son?
Yes, I did. Piper's the daughter.
Yeah.
Yes. I heard they cut that out.
And that's why she was like so happy on the boat. And she was like disheveled at breakfast on that last episode. So apparently like that night they had like slept together. And she like wanted to like lose her virginity and just like kind of like get it over with. I'm sad. And apparently they had a lot of scenes together. Like Zion, that actor, filmed for 5.5 months.
My God, he was barely there.
No. I mean like the rest of the cast filmed for 9. And so like,
I know, yeah, but he was barely in the show for 5.5 months.
Yeah. So all of his stuff got cut out, which people are like, wait, the Piper and Zion stuff, I would have loved that.
What's Mike White saying about it?
Just that it just wasn't needed for the kind of greater storyline. So as they were putting it together.
I get that, but I think then there was I don't want to say a good amount of storylines you could have like cut out, but like there was some stuff you could have.
There was a lot of just like general stuff.
You didn't need, I mean, you did for Belinda, I guess. I was going to say you didn't need Greg that much, but I guess you did a little.
Greg was in there the right amount.
Fair. Okay. I don't know. It wasn't a perfect season, I will say, but I think it was interesting. It caught my attention. I binged it.
Yeah.
which was the way to go.
I agree. I think it's the third best out of 3.
The third best out of 3. We'll go with that.
But I think people are being like, they're talking more about this show than they have in the past. So I think we're being hypercritical about how bad it was.
Yeah.
Just because everybody is talking about it.
It was fine. Patrick Schwarzenegger, though, MAGA.
I know.
Unfortunate.
I already knew that.
I did too, I think. But I saw it confirmed and I was like, yeah.
I guess I'm shocked that people are shocked about it, but
he was on Jimmy Fallon with Giggly Squad recently.
They crushed their what's that game called? Charades. Yeah, they crushed that.
Yeah, they played, and then John Hamm was with Jimmy Fallon, who famously was surprised by Paige and Craig's breakup. So
he said in an interview this week, though, that he doesn't watch Summer House, and Andy was like, you need to watch this season of Summer House to get the Paige side of the breakup. It's very different from Southern Charm. And so he was like, okay, I'll watch this season.
He publicly said on the New York New Year's.
Yes.
He was like crazy about the breakup. Yeah. And I was cracking up.
But he only watches Southern Charm. Like, that's his interaction with Paige.
Terrible. But who knows? Anyway, that's great. Will you watch anything else?
I know you watched this, the group chat on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Did you watch the finale?
I did watch the finale. I like that it was only 5 parts. You could have kept it going. And I was like,
don't. I wanted like one more episode.
For what? There's only so much you could do with the group chat.
Yeah. I guess I wanted more of like the scene when it all happened. I wanted a little bit more of like them when they leave. Well, I guess they would all be together.
She
so
disappears.
It's not a group chat.
She disappears. There, it's in the other group chat.
That's true.
I liked it. It's very accurate of how a group chat works. And I liked that 2 girls were roommates, which made the group chat funnier. That was hilarious.
Because like there is strategy in a group chat, which I hate. This is why I hate big group chats. Is you can't just text something in there. You have to like sidebar other people to be like, hey, will you respond to my message in here? Or will you agree that we're gonna do this? Or like the shock and awe on the side.
Crazy. The first few parts when I was like, this girl will not just grab dinner with her friend. She has to include her boyfriend. It drove me nuts.
Oh my God.
But then I get it because she wanted to catch her man cheating.
Yeah, but like what a weird thing to do and not let your friends in on.
Why you gotta pull in the whole group chat? Just grab one person and be like, let's grab dinner.
That's the thing. Like you're not like absolved because he's not coming to dinner with us. Like I'm actually more mad at you now because you kind of maybe wanted your boyfriend to come to dinner with us, and then
like, did we end up having dinner, or did
that's
we?
That's what I wanted to know.
Your boyfriend was here.
Well, can we have a little bit of discussion off the group chat?
Yeah, it was good. I think this creator could make like even better stuff.
And did you see people were making like spin-offs of being like another guest at the restaurant when it was going on?
No, but that's awesome. As we usually talk about like being the other person in like a teen drama, that's hilarious.
I like the idea that like TikTok can be a place where somebody has like a plot and other people add on to it in their own way. Like
spin-offs. Yeah. No, I love that. It was a good series. It had me captivated. I was there for it.
Me too.
I was there for it.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void were prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
I didn't watch the last episode of Beverly Hills Reunion, but I will.
I did.
Did you watch it?
And I just...
Okay, what happened? You can spoil
There's just not much, to be honest.
Did Garcelle walk out?
No. Apparently, because they showed the next time on, she's going to walk out when they do their toast and like they do their toast. She has a cup in her hand and they get ready to take...
Parts?
Oh, maybe I didn't watch the third. Huh. I don't know, but...
I feel like I already watched 2 parts, but I could be wrong.
I think I watched 2 parts and maybe the third did drop this week and I haven't watched that. But in the next time on, they show that Garcelle's holding her glass. You know, they always get those cocktails. And when they go to take a group photo or like cheers or something, she's like, I'm out of here. And Dorit's like, that's so unprofessional. And I'm like, I'm over Dorit.
I don't really care anymore.
Smoking Dorit at the start, she had me. But she like baits Sutton so hard into like having a reaction. And then she's like, literally Sutton says, honey. And she's like, here she is. Here she is.
I think both of them. I think the whole cast. I'm like, ugh.
I agree that Sutton's a bitch, but I don't think she baits people into something and then like has a reaction for it. I think she's just a bitch to like other people.
Give me the Simpsons woman more. She's Jennifer Tilly. Wow, an icon, a star, a legend. I loved watching her in that. What was the festival they went to? On their trip
in St. Lucia.
She's like, everyone's in thongs, but not me. I got a body. I was like, rocket girl.
I loved that in the reunion. They literally just go through her closet, her jewelry, and they talk about how fucking rich she is.
She's amazing.
Like, that's what I want. Like, that's what Beverly Hills is to me. I want rich people. I'm so sorry, Pari.
Rich out of touch.
You have, like, a lien against your house. You don't have that much money, and that's okay. Like, this is life. But for me, Beverly Hills specifically is exorbitant wealth.
Same. I've been watching a lot of the Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm doing my catch up.
Oh, yeah. Where are you at?
I just finished season 5, and I started the first reunion, but I haven't really gotten that deep.
Who is on the cast?
Okay. Well, there's Tamra. She told Simon she wants a divorce, so she's getting a divorce, which I knew from your timeline.
Yeah.
But crazy.
Had you
the way
never
she does it in the
watched
limo?
OC?
No. I watched like the first 2 seasons.
Okay.
Because I remember Gina and
the limo scene is crazy.
The limo scene was crazy. I'm fascinated by Lynn and her drunk daughters. They are always drunk.
Them.
I also love looking up like where these kids are now.
It got so bad.
Literally. Well, Lynn never disciplined her kids.
Yeah.
She's kind of not the greatest parent.
Is this her first season?
No, her second. Her husband just they got evicted from their house because
I didn't want to spoil that if you didn't know that already, but that was one of the wildest things I've ever seen.
Spoil whatever, who fucking cares? But yeah, her husband got them evicted, but she's gonna give him another chance. But her daughters are very upset. The youngest one, Alexis, she is distraught. She is one of those teenagers that will never be happy. She hates her mom for not disciplining her. She hates her mom for disciplining her. She hates her mom when she doesn't spend time with her. She hates her mom when she does spend time with her. She is a bitch. But Lynn is a terrible parent. This little girl was like, called her mom a bitch in the middle of the mall. And Lynn is just like, that's real nice that you would say that to me. And I was like, no. This is when you go. If I'm such a bitch, you stay at this mall and you
find
leave.
your way home.
Find your way home. If I'm such a bitch, I'm not going to drive you home. Have a good day. You just let your kid. That's the thing, is she like engages with her kid, because then her kid is like, all you care about is your stupid job. And Lynn's like, I have to make money. Like, arguing with her. Don't argue with your kid.
Yeah.
Like, fine. Goodbye. The way like Simon kind of shuts Ryan down is kind of the way you got to do it, is be like, then do whatever. Fuck,
Lynn like wants to be a young fun girl with her daughter. Yeah. She doesn't want to be her mom.
And they're like this girl is out of control, and her sister doesn't really like her. Raquel is a mess too. They're drunk at this party. I was like, it's so embarrassing, honestly. And this is why, as crazy as Vicky is, she's a good mom.
Yes.
Her kids are like kind of together.
But like, she's not like that. We talked about it last time. Like, she's not so strict that like she's psychotic. No. She was the normal parent. Well, she's psychotic, but not a little crazy. Parent.
But like, she clearly doesn't want her kids to grow up. That's why she's holding on. Like when Brianna was like, I want to go to this Dave Matthews concert. I'm 18. I'm going to do it. That's the thing, is Vicky hasn't like come to the conclusion that her kids are well over 18 and can do what they want.
That's true.
She still is like tries to stop them.
Time to have stayed still in a specific zone. Because I think that also ripples through the rest of her life. Like her marriage with Don and like all this other stuff. It like slowly starts to crumble because she didn't know how to adapt into the new phases of life.
I know that they don't last, but I do like Vicky and Don.
I know.
I'm sad though. It doesn't seem like her kids care about Don that much.
Yeah,
Question mark.
I don't think it was like as tumultuous as like the Ryan and
You just don't think it was seen. I was hoping it was more, because Don did say at one point, he's like, I'm not their father, but I raised them. And I was like, oh, I feel like they would have more of like a father, like that could be a father figure. But then Brianna said she doesn't really have a father figure in her life. And I was like, oh, poor Don.
I just think they just don't really care. Like, I don't think they have a bad relationship. Like
with Don, but they just, it's more like that's their mom's husband that they like.
Yeah, and it's like there's a mutual respect, and if he like lays down a law, like fine, but that's because it's like his home, not because he's their dad.
Yeah. Michael cracks me up. This dude's like, I'm playing online poker to get my money. His mom's like, when are you going to be in insurance? And he's like, never, Mom, I'm playing poker. I don't like Michael's girlfriend. I'm glad they don't last. She's annoying. And I like Brianna a lot. I think she's a fun character. I think she's what I wish Kara was. Gina Keogh's kid. But Kara's a little too rude for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're gonna love Brianna because the way Gia is in New Jersey right now, Brianna was kind of that way for a few seasons.
Brianna went on a trip with the
no, but like just wait, because like in like 6 seasons, she's even more in the drama to the point where she sits down at the reunion.
Oh, I love her. And then Gretchen freaks me out, especially when she's with Slade. First of all, I've never liked Gretchen. I think she's kind of a fucking weirdo. I think there's no reason for like Tamara to get her incredibly drunk and try to hook up with her son. That was weird.
What's wild is during that time, nobody found it like weird.
At least Gina was trying to be like, Gretchen, don't drink that. You know, someone was trying to be like, stop. But no one said anything to Tamara about it, which was weird. And then, but I've never liked Gretchen. There's something annoying about her. Like, if I had to be in the same room with her, I would be like so annoyed.
Yeah.
She's so annoying.
But I like the natural discourse that happens when like somebody's personality just rubs you the wrong way like that.
Her drives me nuts. This woman. And now she's dating Slade, who is literally the biggest ick of a man. They're still together. I cannot believe.
I know. Well, she's coming back to the next season of Orange County, but she's a friend of. So I don't think Slade will really be like too much of a focus.
Slade is such a fucking loser. Like, this dude is definition of like absolute loser weirdo. Like, I don't even know how to define him. He's so weird. He's clearly a housewife hopper. Like, I hate him. He's gross. He's trying to be like young guy. His kids aren't anywhere to be seen. And yeah, I looked it up. So he has another kid with Gretchen now, which that's like great, I guess. But I was like, where are his other kids? Because he had 2 kids when he was with Joe.
Yep.
No, he basically, according to his ex-wife, like basically wasn't around.
Yeah, like, he like abandoned,
neglected those
kids.
It's
a discussion
abandoned
on the
those
show
kids.
in a few seasons.
I can't wait. He abandoned and neglected his kids. And then his kid, I think I sent you the story, got like very sick. I think like with a brain tumor or something. And that's when he started posting his sick son for clout when his son died. He was like, oh, this Valentine's Day, him and Gretchen, we're dedicating this Valentine's Day to my son, whatever his name is. Like, may he rest in peace. No, fuck you, dude. And then his ex-wife came out and was like, I didn't say anything when my son was alive because, like, my son wanted a relationship with his father so badly. But now that he's passed, like, stop using my man or my son for, like, fucking money. What are you
both
doing?
The kids from the same woman?
Yes.
That's what's diabolical.
I think so.
If that's true, then like you're posting about your dead son, but you're still probably not showing up for the kid that's alive.
Okay, true. I think so. I don't know. I would assume because those 2 sons
either
are closer
way,
in age.
Even if they're not,
either way, you have another son. What's
you have
up with
another
him?
child. What are you doing with that child?
Who's like a full-fledged adult.
Your child was a minor. Like, stop posting him online. Like, that's so weird. I don't care if he's alive or dead.
It's all weird. It's all weird. I don't like Gretchen and I hate Slade.
I agree. I think a lot of things do happen to Gretchen, which are, they cross the line. And so I don't think that stuff's cool, but Gretchen did piss me off. I always thought her hair was hilarious, though. Every time she did her hair, she did these like big curler things, and I just found it so fascinating weird. TV at the time.
She's so weird. I like her mom, who's like, I don't like Slade. And
I can't remember
like,
her mom.
What can I do? Her mom was literally like, I'm not going to like Slade. You were just engaged to a different man who died recently.
Okay,
like, I'm not.
But mom, like you were fine with her marrying like an 80-year-old man.
I mean, I don't know. But now Slade is like, I want to get married. And Gretchen's like, I don't think people are meant to be monogamous. And I was like, oh my God. And her mom is literally like, shut up.
Also,
Like,
Slade's
honestly,
like
just
broke
shut
as
up.
fucking hell.
Slade is such a loser. Like, why?
I don't understand the attraction. I never understood the attraction.
He this season yelled at Lynn for being a bad parent, and I was going to do that, but for him to do it.
Wait, I, the single woman who has no kids, was going to do that?
I was going to do it, and I'm more qualified than your deadbeat dad ass.
You know what?
Like, what are we doing?
Yelling at parents? That's a girl thing. That's not a boy thing.
Girl thing. What are you doing? He literally was so stern with it too, like not yelling, but like stern voice. And he was like, Lynn, you need to discipline your kids more. And I'm telling you that because I'm someone who cares about you. And I was like, yuck this guy. Yuck him. I wanted Lynn's husband to just
That's
get
one
him.
thing that I do feel like OC doesn't have is like the right shade. And like somebody needed to shade like Slade back. And be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Vicky does a really good job. Vicky hates Slade.
Vicky is good at like fighting with people, but it's not like true shade, you know?
No, that's true. Vicky hates Slade, though.
Yes.
Slade shows up on a vacation, and Vicky was literally like, what are you doing here? No one wants you here. And I was like, eat him up. Eat him up, Vicky.
I will say what is frustrating, though, is they make everything Slade does Gretchen's fault, and I don't think that's okay.
That's not great. Yeah, no. Slade is his own monster.
Yeah.
Truly a
She does
fucking
condone
monster.
some things, but
yeah,
she is not responsible for taking care of his kids.
Absolutely. I stand by that. Anyway.
I love that. Man, I love you on this OC journey.
My rewatch.
I can't wait.
My next one's going to be Atlanta because I've never done Atlanta, but Potomac's my favorite. So
Atlanta
I think I'd love Atlanta.
I think that's truly how I fell in love with Housewives. I started OC. I don't know why. Damn, the way I got into reality TV so young,
crazy,
should be studied because I think it has impacted my life.
Who was parental controlling us? Come on.
Well, then my mom got into it because I watched it. And
of course.
She's been in and out of it, but she only did OC. But then I kept picking up all the Bravo shows because, you know, they're on every night. I need something to watch. Atlanta, I loved. Old school Atlanta, the quality of the cameras and the things that they wear is more iconic than OC.
I'm so excited. I still haven't even finished Jersey, but Jersey gets terrible at some point and it's hard to watch.
It also,
I think I'm on season 12.
That becomes way more repetitive because while I do love the family dynamic, it's like, okay, this is all just repeats and repeats and repeats.
So I'm like, I want to finish because I didn't get into Housewives really until COVID. I didn't
realize that.
I had seen big episodes. I would watch Bravo, but really I was I was more of into the young stuff. So Vanderpump Rules, Summer House, anything a little younger. But yeah, I think I definitely started Beverly Hills when we worked together. But I think I had to binge that. And then, I think I started
it's also hard because
OC.
Streaming platforms, when we worked together, streaming platforms were not where they are today to be able to go back and watch that many seasons. So if you didn't watch it from the beginning, it was so hard. Thank God for Peacock.
So I'm working my way through the Housewives. So obviously I'm caught up on Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills, Potomac. Oh, I think when we worked together, I'd watch Old New York. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah. You watched seasons of New York. I hadn't because I stopped. I have not watched the tail end of Old Roni.
I gotta finish New York. I think I left off in season 4 somewhere. I gotta finish obviously Jersey. I'm gonna work on Atlanta. I'm getting the OC done. I have a lot to go, and I'm so excited. I did hear that the next is gonna be Chicago, which
no, actually,
oh no,
Real Housewives of I think it's Rhode Island is actually filmed and gonna come out. They constantly try to cast for Chicago, but there's an influencer I have an online relationship with because she grew up in St. Louis that they've reached out to. And I was like, dang, she posted on her private stories and was like, should I do it? And I was like, oh my God, that's so fun. And she responded and was like, it's just not me. And I was like, no, I get that. This girlie is just not here, not the drama. But she was like, they consistently reach out and try to cast for it. So I think they're in their round.
They don't have a Midwest one.
No, but I think it's hard. I think it's really, really hard.
It's a different culture. Well, Rhode Island's interesting. Warwick, Rhode Island, that's a crazy place to have Housewives. Because Rhode Island, for being such a small area, like most of it, you're in Rhode Island, you're either like poor or rich.
Yeah.
I know Rhode Island culture. I have cousins from there. I've been to Rhode Island way too many times for like a small state like that. I've seen that place from back and center. I know exactly where you're filming it. You're filming it near Taylor Swift's holiday house. I've been there. I know. That's a nice area. And then you go to Warwick, and that's where Live PD used to film. And the trash that came out of Warwick, Rhode Island was crazy.
Damn. Like, I bet that that's announced at BravoCon 2025.
Interesting, Rhode Island. I'm kind of in on that. I'm gonna make my dad watch it because he loves Rhode Island culture.
Yeah, and then they have one international one, but people don't know if it's gonna be
Dubai.
No. Like a new one coming. It's summer. It's either Australia or Canada. Like one of those two countries got one.
Would love.
But everybody,
Canada.
when it was like announced, because like Hayu, that streaming platform who gets all the Bravo stuff for other countries, I guess is the one producing it and airing it. And people are like, are we going to get it in the reverse?
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Housewives to catch up on, but that's all I do at work. So
no, I love that. Keep going.
Should we do listening? Are you listening to anything?
I only listen to that Bethany podcast, and then just my day list is what I listen to on Spotify because I love that I don't have to think about it.
Did you see that James's ex Allie is on
Viall Files?
Yeah. Viall Files.
I did see that. I didn't listen.
I didn't either, but I saw a clip of how Lisa Vanderpump was trying to get her to get back with James.
That makes me, I think that should be our line, that we're not going to watch New Vanderpump. Not that should be the reason, but like everything else should have been the reason. But like, yeah, Lisa sucks.
Don't watch Vanderpump Villa.
I agree. I'm going to watch it through like TikTok because I'm going to like try. I just want to know what's going on.
Give someone else your view. I love that. I'm listening to, what am I listening to right now? Let me go to my Spotify really quick.
Well, in the past, you've been hooked on Shrek and.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Oh, I was listening to.
Who was the artist you were listening to? He's Puerto Rican.
Bad Bunny. He's still in my top for sure.
Everybody I talk to who's like into music, I just don't listen to a lot of music, constantly is talking about his album. So
it is so good. I was listening to hype basketball music.
Oh, yes.
And then I tried to listen to A Touch with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. Someone shoot me. I'm asking for it. When you read it, it looks crazy.
Your ability to say names is one of my favorite things. It's like my favorite lore on this podcast. Keep going, though.
I only, though, like listening to some of it. But that's fine.
What do they talk about? Stuff. Just sports or?
I've only seen this. I recently got into it, but they talk about a lot of different things. Sports and soccer, obviously the Olympics.
Yeah.
Women getting more involved in sports. And then they have this really fun segment where they do like disagreement of the week. And they talk about a disagreement they had because they're married. So they talk about a disagreement, which is kind of fun. So I was listening to that. But then I'm also listening to my nutritionist.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, as someone who usually exercises a lot, but it's been rainy here and I've been like trapped in my apartment a good amount. And when I say that, I mean, I'm just choosing not to go outside. I've lost like 6.5 pounds.
That's great. That is kind of scary. How much though? Is that like a good number or a bad number? I don't know
like
these
in
things.
2 weeks, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know safe. I feel like we grew up in the era of not safe dieting, eating, working out culture. So like my frame of reference, I know is always off.
Imagine if I worked out though. Like imagine if I just got up and did something. I could be skinny mini, but it's not the point.
I wouldn't even be able to see you the next time we log on.
I would be invisible, I know. But it's fine. The reason I haven't been working out is because I was sick for a little bit. And you shouldn't go places when you're sick. And then
but don't be hard on yourself. Let yourself rest. We're easing out of winter. It's hibernation station.
I'm easing out, and I like to do workout classes, and there's no good workout classes by my work, so I have to like plan it. So if I have to work late, I can't really do a workout class. And no, I don't like working out in the morning. Like, I shouldn't have to do it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I go on walks still, but like I said, it's been very rainy
But that's
here, so I just
working
like
out.
pass it. Yeah, that too. But yeah, I'm not disagreeing. So yeah, like I did a workout class on Tuesday, and then I walked a lot on Wednesday, and then yesterday I didn't leave my apartment. Today I won't either.
Love that. You deserve
Friday
that, though.
night. But I did have fries 3 times this week, which is not in the meal plan.
I was going to say, did you, because last Sunday,
she wanted me to eat a burger with no bun.
Yes. How did that go?
I ate a burger with a bun. It was like a smash burger. You can't.
You deserved that bun.
And I had some fries, but not all of them.
Good
not
job.
3. She told me to do 3 fries.
Just 3?
Yeah, you get 3 bites.
No. I would have been like 3 handfuls.
That's what I did, but it wasn't all of them. I was watching UConn. I was nervous. I was like,
yeah.
And I had two ciders. And then the day before that, I ordered a salad and fries because that's what I wanted when I watched the White Lotus.
You know what? Salad and fries? That's a girl thing.
I will say salad and fries is for the girls. I will say though, then Wednesday I went out with my friend and I thought we were going to get dinner, and then her friend crashed and we just were doing drinks. She's like, I'll order fries for the table. So we did one thing of fries for 3 of us.
Yep.
And then I thought we would continue to get dinner, but then before I knew it, it was 10 o'clock and I had 4 Aperol spritzes in my body and no dinner. And all I thought was, not only is my nutritionist going to hate this, but I'm fucking starving. Like,
yeah.
What the hell? So I came back and I ate a chopstick and a protein bar, and that was it. But I never want to do that again. I need to learn to stand up for myself and be like, you don't have to get dinner, but I have to get dinner.
Yeah.
'Cause I was hungry. I don't know how she's doing, but I was like, how are you not hungry?
When I drink, my appetite goes away.
Yeah, that was crazy when that happened.
I never think about food. That's the only time. When I'm drinking, that's the only time I don't think about food. And it really hurts me because, as you can imagine, 4 Aperol spritzes in the body, no food, chaos.
This woman said too, like, the reason people don't lose weight is because they're not eating enough.
Yeah.
Like, you have to eat enough to get your blood sugar. So, like, you need to have breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. And I had accidentally not snacked that day either because I was just working. And I was like, oh, I'll have like a big dinner. And I did have dinner. And I was like, my body's so confused immediately.
Yes. Because your body then sometimes thinks it's in like starvation mode. And it's not going to drop any weight because you're like starving yourself. That's the thing. People need to amp up how much they're eating and then redistribute what they are eating to have like balanced meals.
Absolutely. So we did it though. We got through it. I've had breakfast every other day since, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. And yeah, I'm debating. I don't want to make fish again, but it is the freaking weekend. I don't know. I'm stuck. We'll see what I end up doing. We'll see.
I'm just eating leftovers because I'm leaving to go see my family. I'm having spicy lasagna soup, and I had made just like a bowl with meatballs and like vegetables. I'm big on like rice bowls because they're easy to make.
I'm not allowed to have rice or pasta, but
that's crazy.
I could have zoodles, but I was like, I
hate zoodles.
I would rather jump out my 6-story building than eat a zoodle.
I would rather have,
are you kidding?
Like more of like protein and vegetables than like eat zoodles.
Than a fucking zoodle.
I like zucchini. I love zucchini personally, but like I
don't want zoodles.
Don't want it in a fake noodle form.
I don't want a zoodle. So either tonight I'm gonna get salad and fries, or I'm going to eat tilapia with half an avocado.
That's it?
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah.
Damn.
I had it last night and it slapped. What are you talking about?
I guess I'm a hungry girl.
I'm a hungry, but I also just had, here's what I've had today. I have Greek yogurt I'm not even hungry right now. That's my problem. Is I had Greek yogurt with this cereal that I have to eat and strawberries. And then I'm not hungry, but I have to make lunch.
Mhm.
So I have half a chicken breast, and it's a big chicken breast. So I have half the chicken breast plus a salad plus some more Greek yogurt to use as dressing. And then I eat that. And then for snack, I had a whole apple with some peanut butter.
Nice.
But not real peanut butter, the PB Fit that you add water to, because that's what she told me to buy. And I'm not even hungry, but she's like, you got to eat dinner. Like, I am scarfing down just okay food. I'm not even like having one. And it's the weekend. So tomorrow I was like, to get out of my house, do I go get a salad and fries instead? Or do I just stay inside and eat my chicken breast?
Oh my God.
It's kind of like choose your own adventure over here. I never know what's going to happen. So I don't even know what I'm doing tonight. Should I watch TV? Is there a good movie or something I should watch?
Oh, I actually meant to give you this recommendation. I don't know if you're going to love it. Do you like Shonda Rhimes' shows on Netflix? Like, did you watch?
I watched Bridgerton.
Yeah. Did you
like
it?
Bridgerton? Yeah, I like Bridgerton.
I just feel like Shonda has a very specific storytelling on Netflix, especially.
Okay.
She came out with a new show called The Residence, and it's a scripted show. It is kind of like a murder mystery, but it's just like such a Shonda way that a murder happens at the White House during a state dinner, and they call this
the president. Did the president die?
No, it's like the head usher or like butler guy.
Poor guy.
And there's a detective that's called in, and she's like this quirky girl who loves birds, and she's investigating it. Like, the White House doesn't want her to investigate it. They just want to say it was like a suicide and move on. And so every episode is her like getting closer and closer to the truth. And these people are just like trapped in the White House for a few hours. It's like filmed over a few hours because they're like interviewing every person. She's like following
Oh my
leads.
God.
And
the cast is crazy.
It's good. And they jump cut. I like the time jump because like they'll flash back to some things. Like the minute she finds a detail out, then somebody tells them part of the story and you get to like see the story as if it happened. I think it's really well done.
Is Uzo Aduba? Isn't she from the Orange is the New Black?
I didn't watch that.
Randall Park's in it. Nice.
I love it. It's not like the most dramatic thing ever, but it's like quirky and funny while being like kind of like
Last
Clue.
weekend I had the White Lotus and I want something else to just like binge a little.
I've been enjoying it because it's like keeping my attention enough, but it's not like so serious.
I gotta look up before Uzo Aduba. Yeah, oh my God. She's from
Orange is the New Black.
She was Crazy Eyes. That was a good show. Okay, cool. I added it to my list. But Netflix is hard because I don't have it on my TV because I got kicked out. I only have it on my iPad.
Yeah.
But I'll still watch. It'll be fine. If anyone has any good movies.
I had to get my own account.
There's a fuck that.
I know.
Fuck. So I really only watch Netflix when I'm working, but I can't watch real shows then because I have it on my phone. So when I'm at work, I put on Do Not Disturb so I can watch Housewives mostly, but just in case. Okay, fun. Thanks for the rec. Great.
No
what
problem.
A great show. This was on my plans for today, so that's lovely.
I love it. Well, go forth on your nutritionist journey.
Go for it. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.